The room suddenly froze for a few seconds as if someone had just pressed the pause button. Everything came to a standstill. Yihan was the spokesperson along with everyone else in the room, simultaneously stopping all actions and thoughts. What is happening? Why is everyone looking for Chen Yuan? What is this man up to? This situation seems off. Moreover, each person's gaze began to spark with intensity, yet they maintained an outward appearance of elegance. However, inside, a psychological battle was brewing. Are you daring to play? I'm not afraid. Let's see who the real queen is. Okay, the battle begins. The atmosphere is tense like a guitar string that seems about to snap. But hold on, the drama doesn't just stop there. Another new character appears. Yang Weibai walks in at her mother's request. She came to meet Chen Yuan. But that's life. Who can predict anything? Before Yang Weibai could even open her mouth, she saw in front of her a luxurious banquet table, like a five-star restaurant surrounded by stunning women. So she stood there in shock for 5 seconds, telling herself, "Oh my god, why didn't anyone warn me about this situation? I just wanted to meet Chen Yuan, but who knew I'd stumble into this beauty battle?" Although she still tried to appear normal on the outside, inside, Yang Weibai had switched to lights out mode. She had no idea how to react to this super awkward scene. First, her gaze stopped at Seok-wan, darling daughter Dong-hui, the most powerful tycoon of Gyeongbokgung. Yang Weibai's father was not to be underestimated either, but at lavish parties, Yang Hanjun didn't even have the right to pour wine for Dong-hui. So when seeing Seok-wan, Yang Weibai thought, "Oh my, where am I wandering into? This girl is so powerful that I don't even dare breathe loudly." Next was Jung Zai-lu, the daughter of the powerful Jung family in Gyeongbokgung. Yang Weibai thought, "Wait a minute, do I know this person? Just the other day, this girl was pretending to be innocent in front of Chen Yuan. Who would have thought Jung Zai-lu would be such a big deal, like a princess of the entire city, with power equal to Seok-wan?" Just when she thought that was enough, no, the surprises were not over yet. While Yang Weibai was still covertly assessing, Jung Zai-lu cheerfully introduced 2 brand new characters. "Ah, sister, let me introduce a little. This is Yihan, the deputy director of Longhao Corporation, and over there is Qin Wu Shuang, the young lady of Hinshi Corporation." This situation is so strange. In Yang Weibai's mind, a flurry of questions is racing back and forth. What? Where am I? Why am I here? Who is Chen Yuan to summon such exceptional characters? Who informed me that this is a summit so I could prepare myself? Gradually, Yang Weibai felt like a tiny being who had mistakenly fallen into a giant's party. Who is Chen Yuan to have the power to summon such an extraordinary lineup? And I am just a side character, caught in the middle of a power summit, desperately trying to hold my ground. To be honest, even my parents would have to bow and scrape if they met those 3 young ladies, and they probably wouldn't even dare offer a drink. Thinking about this, Yang Weibai's face still tried to show no concern, but inside, there were tons of thoughts racing. This is not good. Do I even have a chance to win? Looks, I'm not bad, but compared to these young ladies, it doesn't seem to matter. But wait, I have one advantage. I studied with Chen Yuan and I know he used to like me. But now what? In the past, whenever I bumped into Kim Jisoo, I felt confident because I thought I was at least better than her. But now, standing in front of all these super elite ladies, each radiating charisma and power, I suddenly feel like a poor girl who stumbled into a royal party. Oh my, will Chen Yuan choose me? Thinking of this, Yang Weibai's confidence plummeted. She stood there, feeling her legs turn to jelly. This meeting felt like a clash of powerful women in a historical film. But in reality, it resembled a gathering of fake sisters more. Everyone was smiling at each other, appearing friendly like long-standing friends. There were jokes and handshakes, but no one was here to bid on Chen Yuan. If there was any biting, sorry. There must be some misunderstanding here. This group doesn't have the concept of a fierce fight. Instead, there are subtle and profound tricks that are hard to believe. An elegant lady only needs a glance to inflict damage. There's no need to be sharp-tongued. The most prominent among them was none other than the energetic Jung Zai-lu. This younger sister was like holding a microphone for a TikTok live stream, introducing each person as if hosting a year-end gala. She spoke charmingly, but every word was laced with a smell of gunpowder. In an instant, the banquet table transformed into a lavish feast with an alluring aroma that engulfed the room, immersing everyone in a world of exquisite delicacies that touched the pinnacle of life. Everyone stood there, eyes wide and stomachs rumbling, saliva almost dripping, but no one dared to dive in like those lowly starving people. They had to maintain their upper-class facade. They couldn't let their glamorous image falter in front of these sophisticated women, but that upper-class facade couldn't last long. The first to break the upper-class atmosphere was none other than Jung Zai-lu. The energetic younger sister stood before the food table, imagining all sorts of things in her head. It smells so good. I guess I should have a bite to satisfy my craving, right? Without hesitation for even a second, Jung Jae-lu immediately snatched a super juicy piece of beef at lightning speed. In an instant, the piece of meat safely landed in her mouth. While chewing, Jung Jae-lu emitted sounds of satisfaction, her eyes shining like shooting stars, exclaiming, "It's so delicious beyond imagination." This piece of meat seemed to be made solely to take a person to the heights of bliss. The flavors exploded in her mouth, causing Jung Jae-lu to constantly murmur in delight, her face radiating joy. So satisfied, the lingering taste in her mouth made me feel as if I had just stepped through the gates of paradise. Seeing Jung Jae-lu dance around like a happy child, Seok-wan, sitting nearby in her elegant way, couldn't help but gently pat her little brother on the shoulder. Jae-lu, just eating. Why make a big deal out of it? Be careful not to choke. But Jung Jae-lu didn't care at all, still entranced by the piece of meat she had just eaten. She pointed at the plate of beef and exclaimed, "No, sister, this piece of meat is truly the pinnacle of earthly delights. I feel like not bringing the chef home to make special dishes is a waste of my life." Upon hearing this, Seok-wan couldn't hold back any longer. Although she initially intended to maintain her cool and aloof demeanor, her gaze wavered from Jung Jae-lu's exaggerated advertisement. After a moment of psychological struggle, Seok-wan finally gave in and picked up a piece of beef. As she did so, she said, "All right, let's see if Jae-lu is exaggerating or not." Seok-wan initially picked up a piece of beef with an elegant demeanor like a true upper-class lady. But oh my, the moment the piece of meat touched her tongue, her eyes lit up as if she had just discovered the secret delicacy of the world. At first, she only intended to taste a piece, but then one piece led to another, from one piece to 2 pieces, 3 pieces, until the entire plate of beef disappeared without a trace, as if it had never existed on the banquet table. Jung Jae-lu, sitting next to her, had her eyes wide open, mouth agape in disbelief. Everything was happening too fast and too dangerously, like action scenes in a movie. She froze for a few seconds and turned to Seok-wan and asked, "Seok-wan, are you serious? Didn't you say you just tasted? How did you end up eating it all like a tornado? Oh my." At that moment, Jung Jae-lu was probably at the peak of her anger. It was hard to hold back. She stomped her foot as if about to explode. Seok-wan, you are such a glutton. Return the meat to me right now." Although Seok-wan felt a bit embarrassed, she tried to maintain a calm expression, not revealing her sneaky eating. "I was just getting a sense of the flavor. I still need to try more to really know." Jung Jae-lu was so furious that she didn't know what else to say, stomping her foot as if she were about to burst. But Seok-wan didn't care about her cousin's anger, her eyes quickly scanning the other dishes on the table. "Come on, there are plenty of dishes. Is this braised pork? Let's give it a try." Saying that, she swiftly picked up a piece and brought it to her mouth with a look of complete satisfaction. After seeing her favorite beef dish being completely taken away, Jung Jae-lu couldn't stand it anymore when she saw the braised pork also being nearly finished, and she shouted, Seok-wan, stop taking it from me." And so the two girls dove into a battle for the last pieces of braised pork on the plate. This scene left everyone else sitting there with wide eyes, completely stunned. The room fell silent for a few seconds, as if everyone was trying to process what had just happened. What is going on? Are these two young girls from wealthy families really fighting over a piece of meat? Where did their elegance go? At that moment, Qin Wushuang suddenly smelled an exquisite fragrance from the table. Her eyes lit up as if she had discovered a diamond mine, and before she could blink, she exclaimed, "Yi-han, these dishes smell amazing. I can't wait any longer. We have to dig in right now." Yi-han was more cautious, frowning slightly. "Sister Wushuang, is it really okay to do that? After all, this is someone else's house, and a host hasn't even appeared yet. It feels a bit awkward to start eating first. It's quite impolite." But Qin Wushuang didn't care about such etiquette. She shrugged nonchalantly. Who cares about Chen Yuan? Why be polite to him? He's just a scammer. No need to stress out. Having said that, Qin Wushuang immediately grabbed a spoon and without hesitation scooped up a piece of food. The moment it touched her mouth, Qin Wushuang's eyes widened in surprise as if she had just discovered the mysteries of the universe. "Oh my god, Yi-han, this food is unbelievably delicious. The chicken egg soup looks simple, but tastes heavenly." Yi-han had been skeptical from the start, but seeing Qin Wushuang's genuine reaction, she couldn't hold back any longer and curiously tried a bite. And oh my, just touching it with her tongue made her eyes light up, the sensation of the food exploding in her mouth. "Oh my gosh, this is really top-notch. What kind of shrimp soup is this? Exceeds all imagination." Qin Wushuang had just awakened after the shocking taste experience, excitedly shouting, "Who cooked these dishes? We must bring that person in as our private chef. With this skill, paying $100,000 a month is worth it." Jung Zai-Lu immediately switched into competitive mode, quickly opposing. $100,000? You're being too cheap. I'd pay $500,000. Don't try to compete with me. I won't let this dish slip away. This is the first time in my life I've wanted to eat more. Qin Wushuang resolutely refused to back down. $500,000? I'll pay $1 million. The person who cooked this dish must belong to me. So the two girls who were originally competing for lofty things in life were now arguing fiercely over an anonymous chef. Just when the tension was rising, Kim Jenny suddenly jumped in to save the day. Stop! Don't argue anymore. These delicious dishes definitely aren't made by just one person. It must be a whole army of chefs. So let's each hire a head chef for ourselves. Simple and effective. While everyone was still nodding in agreement, thinking about this reasonable plan to share chefs, Kim Jenny suddenly had another idea. How about this? For those who like spicy food and strong flavors, we need to hire a guy specialized in Sichuan dishes. And for those who prefer lighter, more delicate food, just choose a chef who makes Guangdong cuisine to match our tastes. Or should we go down to the kitchen and see for ourselves? Finally, the group decided to head down to the kitchen to uncover the truth behind the amazing dishes they had just enjoyed. No one could contain their curiosity any longer. As they walked, Wang Meng looked at Zheng Zai-Lu with a doubtful expression. Don't tell me that Chen Yuan cooked all these dishes by himself. It sounds a bit hard to believe, but it does make some sense. Zheng Zai-Lu tried to maintain some rationality, shaking his head to analyze. He cooked it himself? Chen Yuan cooked this. The fried rice is delicious, but to cook such 100 fancy dishes on his own is just miraculous. Even a Michelin 3-star chef can't pull that off in one night. Qin Wushuang didn't miss the opportunity to belittle, slightly curling her lips to say something full of skepticism. Chen Yuan knows how to cook. That sounds funny. After saying that, Qin Wushuang's thoughts became more and more tangled, her mind like a messy web. He loves to show off, appearing in the news every day is believable enough. If he can cook this well, then dream on. If he can cook, I'll change my name for sure. Thinking of this in Qin Wushuang's mind, the image of Chen Yuan became clearer than ever. Why am I thinking about him so much? That feeling grew stronger, an uncontrollable shyness causing Qin Wushuang's cheeks to gradually heat up. She unconsciously brought her hand to her face as if to check if she was truly blushing. No, I can't keep thinking about him like this, she told herself, trying to shake her head to dispel the image of Chen Yuan from her mind. Quickly, the 7 girls, Zheng Zai-Lu, Wang Meng, Yang Weibai, Qin Wushuang, Yi Han, Kim Jenny, and Seok-hwan rushed down to the kitchen with immense curiosity. Forgetting their upper-class elegance, everyone was now focused on one thing, the truth about whether Chen Yuan was a chef or not. As soon as they entered the kitchen, the whole group froze, their eyes bulging like car headlights. Each person expressed surprise in their own way, but the common feeling was one of disbelief at what lay before them. Zheng Zai-Lu was the first to react, her eyes wide open, mouth agape, as if someone had taken away her ability to speak. Beside her, Yi Han, who always appeared calm, had her brows furrowed tightly today, her eyes wide with confusion. The rest had sparkly eyes, unable to believe what was happening in front of them. In the kitchen, Chen Yuan is fighting with 12 stoves at once. This scene is no different from a performance in a high-speed action movie. Chen Yuan glides past each stove as lightly as if he were strolling down the street rather than cooking. Everything flows smoothly, without a hint of clumsiness, as if he were born to be a chef. He stir-fries vegetables, pours oil, seasons with spices, and checks the fire. All of it is done with the precision of a machine with no mistakes. His movements are quick and elegant, as if every throw of the spoon is a work of art. Watching him control each vegetable and each drop of oil is like witnessing a top-notch culinary show, where the star is none other than Chen Yuan. Not only are they amazed, but the girls are almost drawn into each of Chen Yuan's rhythmic and captivating movements. He works with focus, confidence, and skill, creating an irresistible charm. Gradually, all 7 girls seem to be mesmerized by the brightest star in the kitchen, causing them to completely melt. Especially Qin Wushuang and Yi Han, standing there in disbelief with their mouths agape. Heavens, is this really Chen Yuan? Isn't he the lazy guy who always shows off his wealth? How did he turn into such a super chef? Thus, the image of Chen Yuan as a billionaire in the minds of the 2 women officially shattered. Who would have thought? The man who is usually cold and calculating in business strategies could be so skilled in a professional kitchen. It turns out Chen Yuan not only knows how to run a company, but is also talented in cooking. Wang Meng joyfully switched to fan mode, her eyes sparkling with excitement, following every movement of Chen Yuan. For her, Chen Yuan was not only rich and highly talented, but now also an exceptional cook. Truly a masterpiece of the world. My brother is indeed unmatched, worthy of being my brother. Kim Jenny thought to herself, a strange feeling rising in her heart. What? Wait a minute. What's this? Recalling the time at Kinyuan, Chen Yuan always refused to cook, leaving everything to me. And now he's chopping vegetables and cooking like a 5-star chef, acting just like a real restaurant boss. This triggered a chain of self-dramatizing thoughts with strong delusional tendencies. Could it be that he likes me and is giving way to me? It must be. Before, he'd always let me toil alone in the kitchen. No, it must be because he was afraid of hurting my self-esteem. He ate the dishes I cooked, even though they weren't that great, without a single complaint. Clearly, he has feelings for me. Suddenly, Kim Jenny felt a rush of excitement, as if she had just discovered a great secret. I always feel like a tiny blade of grass among towering trees full of glory. Standing next to these beauties, I can't help but compare myself and feel completely overshadowed by them. These ladies seem like they stepped out of a textbook of beauties, their looks and family backgrounds surpassing mine by 1,000,000 miles. Because of this, I often carried a bit of inferiority inside, feeling like I had no chance to compete. But then, all of a sudden, the universe seemed to shine a light on me. It turns out I still have a place in Chen Yuan's heart, and it's not a small one, but a place to be extremely proud of. This scene can only be described as explosive, not just because of Chen Yuan's cooking skills, but also due to the comprehensive impact on the psychology of those observing. Wang Mang Mang's favorite level increases by 1. Current favorite level, 97 points. Qin Wu Shuang's favorite level increases by 1. Current favorite level, 94 points. So Kwan's favorite level increases by 1. Current favorite level, 94 points. Yi Han's favorite level increases by 10. Current favorite level, 30 points. At this moment, Qin Wu Shuang teased Yi Han with a biting remark. Yi Han, even if you offer a salary of $10 million, you probably wouldn't be able to lure this chef away. All the delicious dishes so far have been made by Chen Yun himself. He's earning more money than you, so if you want to eat for free for life, the only way is to marry him. Yi Han then concluded with a simple but definitive statement. Don't talk nonsense, I'm not the type to be in a flirty guise. Besides, Chen Yuan is not my type. Chen Yuan was standing in the kitchen, working with his hands but feeling a jolt of electricity in his head. It was a feeling that was both surprising and somehow predictable. After the incredibly skillful performance earlier, it was clear I had attracted quite a few admiring gazes. But the biggest issue now was how to handle the situation with the 7 girls who had come into the kitchen. Chen Yuan still pretended to be composed as if he saw nothing and continued to fake stir-frying vegetables. And not just in a normal way, he conveniently showcased his ability to chop 20 times in 1 second and then perform the dragon subduing 18 palms stir-fry, leaving the girls wide-eyed and speechless. His likability kept rising like a stock market chart. Every time he poured oil or seasoned the dish, the sound of the system echoed. However, Chen Yuan sighed, feeling like crying. After making such a big deal, how was he supposed to deal with the 7 younger sisters now? This situation was indeed quite difficult to handle. It needed to be approached delicately, or he would easily face the consequences. First, I need to deal with my sister Mang Mang. Although there is no reason to be jealous, her goodwill towards me has increased to 97, which is a bit dangerous. Stop, let's just consider Mang Mang as my beloved sister, handle this delicately first, and think about the rest later. As for Kim Jenny, Yang Weibai, and Zheng Zhai Lu, these girls already have a high favorite level, so there's no need to worry. However, Yi Han and Qin Wu Xuan will definitely not let last night's incident slide. I need to come up with a reasonable explanation, otherwise I might get ganged up on. After careful consideration, Chen Yuan approached the 7 girls and made a suggestion. Alright, you girls go outside first, let me finish making the last few dishes. If you're hungry, feel free to eat first. Don't be too polite, we're family after all. As soon as Chen Yuan said there was no need to wait, the 7 girls, Zheng Zai Lu, Wang Meng Meng, Yang Weibai, Qin Wu Xuang, Yi Han, Kim Jenny, and Sub Quan immediately rushed out to the living room. Zheng Zai Lu, the #1 food lover, immediately picked up her chopsticks. Chen Yuan told her not to wait and to just eat. I was so hungry my vision blurred. Qin Wu Xuang added, That's right, this is truly the pinnacle of cuisine. With 108 dishes, it's no different from the Manchu Han Imperial Feast. I can't believe Chen Yuan. Just like that, the 7 girls ate and didn't stop praising the food, gasping and cheering. Especially Zheng Zai Lu, who was famous for her love of food, stuffing her mouth full while rubbing her round belly and complaining, Oh my, I'm so full, and I still haven't had the fried rice with egg that Chen Yuan made. Time passed by, and after more than half an hour, Chen Yuan still hadn't appeared, while only half of the 108 dishes on the table had been eaten. Meanwhile, the 7 girls in the living room all had full stomachs and couldn't fit another bite. What a waste, we've only eaten half, and we're already this full. Amidst the lively chatter in the living room, the stewardess Emmy suddenly walked in, her voice calm and precise. Miss, I am Emmy, the steward of Mr. Chen. The master has just given an order, inviting you to the study for a private discussion. Hearing this, So-kwon couldn't help but feel a slight flutter. What? Yi Han and Qian Wushuan are here too. Why am I called first? AI special or something? Thinking about this, she naturally felt a bit excited, as if she was about to be invited on a secret date. The other girls sat quietly, but their eyes were full of meaning. Everyone maintained a calm expression, but inside, it was like a storm was brewing. Why is So-kwon called first? What does this mean? Even though they thought so, everyone was tactful, not revealing their emotions on the surface. So-kwon followed Emmy into the elevator, feeling curious yet a bit anxious. What? Why am I so excited? It's just meeting Shen Yuan. What's the big deal? I'm good at keeping my composure, or maybe I'm actually happy. The elevator took So-kwon to the 6th floor, where Chen Yuan's vast estate sprawled like a high-end resort. So-kwon thought to herself, unable to suppress her amazement. Even though it's only 6 stories, the amenities here are top-notch. From the outdoor swimming pool, basketball court, and volleyball court to even a helicopter landing pad. The home of a billionaire is indeed something else. It's got everything. Stepping out onto the terrace, So-kwon saw Chen Yuan, a picture of a powerful man wearing sunglasses, lounging on a sofa outdoors. On the table were refreshments, and he was fiddling with his phone, looking like a scene straight out of a movie. At that moment, Chen Yuan looked exactly like a cold, charming, powerful man, causing So-kwon to pause for a few seconds. But then the entire image shattered as she caught a glimpse of his phone screen and discovered that Chen Yuan was playing online cards. Is this the man that many wouldn't dream of? He seems just as childish as anyone else.